Welcome, one and all, to the Friday edition of the Extra Point Show. You know it's Friday, so you know my right-hand man, Mr. Michigan Michael Hasso, is in the building. What's going on, Michigan Miguel?
What's up, everyone? Got that basketball warm up on, so we're ready to go.
Indeed. Our motto from here on out is go blue or go home. Although although we've yet to hear your bracket picks, which I cannot wait for. I've been waiting for this episode all week long. Mike, I know we were talking about this off wax, but can you just let the people know what you've been up to today, just as like a little personal flex? Where did you just come from, Mike?
I went to the chiropractor, and then I got some new speakers in the car, so got that done.
And y'all, he got that done, and he ain't even used his stimulus check yet. I mean, all of us need some Michigan Mike on our team. Look at him like no comment. I know Stacy's listening. Hey, sister-in-law, how you doing, Stacy? Love you. Stace, go blue. All right, Michigan Mike, we got a ton of sports to get to, so we can get you back to that big, luxurious TV that's behind you on the wall back there. Nice setup by you. We're gonna nice. Give the people an inside look. This is like MTV Cribs gone virtual.
Yeah, man. Florida just took the lead, so excited about that.
Nice. And we are definitely going to get into that and much more. But Mike, I would be remiss if I didn't start off with the biggest story that's going on in sports right now, and that's the ongoing plot twist that's going on with the Houston Texans franchise quarterback Deshaun Watson. Now, when you first put me up on this earlier this week, it was just one person that had accused him of sexual misconduct. Then it was two. Then it was three. We wake up this morning. Now it's seven. The last time I just checked about 30 minutes ago to say it could be up to nine. Nine allegations before the weekend is out. Mike, now I know we like to see the best in people, and we live in a innocent until proven guilty society. At least that's how it's supposed to be. But nine allegations, Mike. That's a lot of smoke to not have any fire. Let me ask you this, because we haven't seen the details yet. You're a general manager of another franchise. You and your team have been putting together a compensation package to acquire Watson. What are your thoughts now if you're an opposing team or another team that was looking into possibly putting together an extensive package for Watson? What do you do now?
There's not going to be that many teams, in my opinion, looking for him right now. I think it's hard because no one knows what the commissioner is going to do. We can all speculate, but I think everyone has to snooze on that. I don't see him being a factor in the league for much longer.
Now expound on that. Like a factor in the league as in a player or an effective player, or that he may be done, he may go to jail. What do you mean?
All of the above.
Wow.
This isn't something to play around with. I honestly don't get it because you're one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Everyone in the sports or the NFL world has been hyping him up like, hey, come on, release him, like, let him go.
Right.
He's been fairly quiet.
One of them. Right.
He's been fairly quiet, kind of keeping low key and letting his talent work for him. You're a millionaire, but you're doing this on the side. So it's kind of like, it doesn't look good. I know there was texts that were just released, this morning or yesterday or something like that. It doesn't show too much, but it doesn't look good either. So
it does not. Now, I agree with you 100%. I hope that his career is not over because of this. But like you said, these allegations, this isn't a barroom fight. This isn't, a fender bender where you got mad road rage and went sock the other, driver. This is very, very serious. And even if it's not in today's time, the only reason why I was hoping it wasn't true because that's 1, 2, 3, 7, 9 women who didn't have to be subjected to this type of behavior, because that's unacceptable in any era, in any time, not even just in the Me Too movement.
And I think if it was just one time, we make mistakes. We are human. And especially being held to this pedestal, and maybe he needed that rude awakening. That's one thing. But if you got multiple, like, nah.
Like you Jigsaw.
Yeah.
This sounds kind of calculated and premeditated, at least on the surface. I mean, we just keeping it real. Now, let's flip it over to inside the Texans locker room. Now, your quarterback, the one who's facing all of this pressure now, has been badgering you, has been telling the entire world that he no longer wants to play for your organization. What do you do now with him? Do you hold on to him? Do you wait for the commissioner to step in? Do you release him? What do you do?
I think the Texans took a bigger hit on this. I mean, like all the stuff aside and the allegations and all that set aside. I mean, they're the ones that really took a hit because they were just kind of holding him out there to see what kind of bids he was going to get.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, they were going to get a lot of picks for him and future picks and whatnot.
Right.
Right. That's what the future was going to be.
Right.
Now, I don't see that happening right now. So Texans are going to be pretty weak for the next 5 years or so. So if you're a Texans fan, sorry.
Right. The man, has been a bad year for Houston sports. Now let me ask you this. Do you think that the Texans who just signed oh my God, Mike, please help me out with it. Tyrod Taylor. They just signed him to a pretty decent contract. I presume to be the backup or the heir apparent should they trade him. Do you think that this was a situation to where they kind of saw this coming down the pike and now they got their plan B in case he's on the commissioner's exempt list come August?
I mean, you're trying to have me speculate.
That's what I bring you on here for, Mike.
I want to see the good in everyone and organization. I'm not saying that they knew first. I mean, of course, they probably knew first. But I'm going to say that they just knew that they were about to get rid of him, and they were kind of setting this up as a backup.
Right, because if you're the Texans, you're absolutely right. This is the worst possible scenario. Now, you can't move him. You could have moved him and let it be somebody else's headache for them to deal with and pay him all that money and all that. You didn't move him then. You may be stuck with him. And like you said, this may be the precipitous fall, like we dare to say, like a Michael Vick or like some of the other people who've come down the pike and had got derailed with something off the field and never quite made it back. Now, Brandon said it was a great backup plan to get Tyrod Taylor. I'm a fan of Tyrod Taylor as a backup. As a 3 to 5 game stopgap if your quarterback needs their knee scope. But as a Titans fan, he puts no fear in my heart to be competitive.
Right. Yeah, and that's coming from a weak defense. So there you go.
Right. Hey, I'm still reeling from last year's defense. Okay, so I don't know if y'all saw this last night, and Brandon is right. They just made a trade for a backup QB. Deshaun is going on the commissioner's list.
Yep.
He's going on the commissioner's list. So wow, this is going to get much uglier before it gets better. Now speaking of ugly. As Michigan fans, we always love to see Sparty looking stupid. They looked stupid last night, but the more than them losing the game to UCLA in the play-in, there was an incident between Coach Izzo and one of his players named Gabe Brown heading into the locker room at halftime where Izzo was going Izzo, grabbing and jerking and running out to the middle of the court to greet the player. The player returned with equal and even more aggression. It made its way up the tunnel to where the player basically turned around and kind of bowled up to the coach, stopped him in his tracks as he was chasing after him up the tunnel. Now, that created a firestorm on social media last night. And I wanted to get your thoughts, Mike, because you're a current day father of kids who are going to be, if they choose to, will be going into athletics pretty soon, regardless of the sport. And you also played when you were a child in a different era. Now, everybody was making a big deal about Izzo, and you can't do that anymore. He was in the wrong. What are your thoughts on that coaching style? Does that still work in 2021 with Generation Z?
Absolutely not. Gen Z is very emotional when it comes to that type of thing, and they kind of have a bubble. I mean, we all have a bubble, but we also give respect where it's due. Right. And so, like, if it's working, and the coach kind of grabs you, like, come on, shake, like, get out of it, type of thing. Like that's always happens, It's not something new. Now Gen Z, yeah, they don't do that. I mean, they either, fight back instantly, or they go tell somebody and then they tell somebody, and then it kind of escalates from there.
Right.
But yeah, that coaching style isn't going to work this year, or Gen Z's.
It's not, and I will use this as an opportunity to toot Michigan's horn, because it seems like that Juwan Howard has done a great job of communicating with this Generation Z, because he has kids that came up playing in the AAU circuit with these same age players. Tasha shouts out Go Blue, says Generation Z ain't having it. These kids been spoiled. That's another show for another day as far as that goes, because I believe that I need you both on camera to talk about that, because you're both active parents and with parents that kids that grew up in a different generation. My thought on that, Mike, is we came up when we were playing Pop Warner Little League. You mess up, the coach could drag you off the field by your helmet. Your parents sitting right there in the stands. I remember playing Little League football one particular Sunday, and my grandparents were there. Not only was it my parents, my grandparents were there. And the opening kickoff, we kicked the ball off to the other team. They march it right down our throat. Score. He pulled all of us on the field, and we doing push-ups, man. Like, it was so humiliating. Gen Z would have got him fired for that. I don't know if I'm just I know, Mike.
No, no, you're absolutely right. It's just different. It's a different way of communicating. It's a different way to get inside their head. So for the newer generations, it's not about like, I'm going to yell at you to get you hyped or to get you out of your mind. It's like you have to talk to them in a way that lets them know how they're letting their team down, or a way that you're like, man, if you don't do your job, this is how it affects the whole team. And so that's the way to kind of talk to him. And I think, Howard's doing a great job of just communicating that, because he doesn't yell necessarily on the sideline. He's more like the disappointed father type look. And it's like, oh, yes. So I like how he's transitioning, and he's always been a player like that. Even when he was coaching for the Heat, like he's always been like that. So it's good. It's good to see him work in the college atmosphere.
Right, and I think that you could start to see a gap, and it started this season between Michigan and Michigan State. Although they did win the fluke game at the end of the season, of the recruiting between the two, because players will be more apt to the style of a Howard than that old school Barney Rubble, Fred Flintstone, bang you over the head type style that Izzo has done and been successful with for the majority of his career. With that being said, there is a shut the hell up recipient that I had just got to shout out real quick. Draymond Green. Draymond. Now, right during this little scuffle when Izzo started trending on Twitter, Draymond immediately fires off a couple of tweets. I will read them verbatim. The first one says, typical Michigan State exchange, move on, relax, in all caps. And then right after that, he said, that's what winning looks like.
Did he delete the tweet?
Cold takes exposed. He has not deleted the tweet. Not only did they not win the game, they were in the play-in game. This wasn't the regional final that they lost. You didn't even make it to the round of 64. So that's not what winning looks like. And that your style, that Izzo style that you employ, Draymond, is the reason why Golden State no longer has a dynasty with KD. You wanted to get in KD's face like Izzo and call that man all out of his name. And KD got in his Gen Z feelings and dipped. We all know that's what happened. So, like,
KD ain't no Gen Z.
He's not, but he's
he's a soft millennial. Let's call it what it is.
Tasha, behave. Michigan is in the house. I love it. The Fugees, the Wolverine Fugees are in the house. Michigan Mike, Tasha T. Sizzle. That's how it's supposed to be on a Friday on the Extra Point. That's how we get down. Now, Mike, last week, you came on here and you set the template, because every guest that's come on after your show last Friday has agreed with you. Now, I want to see if you still agree with yourself. Last Friday, I asked you who was the best team in the country heading into the tournament. You said
Illinois.
They went on to whoop ass all the way through the conference tournament, win the conference tournament, win the number 3 overall seed. Has anything happened in the conference tournament or in the last 7 days to change your mind about that?
I mean, we can go over the picks if you want right now.
We're going to get that. That's called a tease. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Now, I'm not asking you who's the national champion this year, but I'm asking you, are they still the best team in your opinion heading into the tournament?
Yes.
I agree. I agree. Now I know they like the first take type of sports journalism to where I'll fire off a couple of other teams, but no, I agree. I agree. They have no holes, no weaknesses unless they just show up not to play one day. But we will get to your picks.
Which could
Now
happen.
it
They
could.
have a little youngness in them, so
Right. And that's where we're at. Now, there's a couple of upset specials that could be brewing right now. Number 14, Colgate, is down by 2 points to Arkansas right now, 56-54, with just under 10 minutes left to go in the game. Michigan Mike, do you have any upset specials to be on alert for this weekend?
this weekend, I like this year's tournament because I do believe in a lot of the upsets or like the 11, 12 seeds type of thing.
Throw us out a couple to look forward to this weekend.
I have Winthrop going pretty far.
Really? Now, who they play in the
Yeah.
first round?
Who do they play? Let's take a look. I don't know. I don't remember who. Oh, Villanova.
Oh, in Gonzaga's bracket.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you got okay. All right. Just to play fair, I have Georgia. I'm sorry, Georgetown. I have I have them beating Creighton.
Oh,
So that's one of
okay.
my upset
I
specials.
like that one. I like that one though because they're what we said is kind of going through that hot streak. And they have a hot streak right now, so I think I have that one too.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's not one that that surprised you. I'm looking at now. We have Florida State. I'm sorry. We have Florida and Virginia Tech that are battling it out. I'm trying to think if there's another one here that I have that's um, question. Who do you have between North Carolina and Wisconsin? I'm just curious.
I have Wisconsin. I have a lot of Big Ten homer picks on this, um, but I do have an upset for one of the games that's going on right now, which is
All right. Let's hear it.
Utah State against Texas Tech. So
Dear basketball gods that hover above us in the sweet white clouds over Texas, please don't let that be an upset special, or else my $20 is going up in smoke.
why you have Texas Tech going far?
Oh, I got them going far. Oh my God.
No, man, come on! I already told you about SEC and Big Ten
You
or the Big
did.
12. I mean,
No, you did, but I don't know why. I just kept clicking. I think I got them in the Sweet 16, so that could be ugly for your boy. That could
yes.
be ugly for your boy. Who's the first? No, okay. Let me ask you this: do you have all number one seeds making the Final Four?
No,
Who's the first one to exit in your bracket?
I think it is Gonzaga. I believe so.
Okay,
I'm not a
all right.
believer in Gonzaga, and I know there's quite a few people in the brackets that we did that are picking Gonzaga to win. I'm not a
Yeah.
believer in that.
Now they have a potential second round matchup between Oklahoma or Missouri. I think either one of those teams could clip them. Early in the week, Virginia was one of the teams I looked at that if they could slow the game down and play a defensive type game, that they could give Gonzaga some trouble. Um, I didn't like the fact that the NCAA put teams that they've already beaten all littered through their bracket.
Yeah,
Like, why are you just trying to just gift wrap them a Final Four appearance? Like,
yeah.
okay,
Well,
okay, we get it.
I will correct myself. I do have Gonzaga and Baylor both losing on the same. I guess what is it, Elite Eight?
Now, y'all, let me let y'all take a peek behind the curtain here, the extra point curtain. Me and Mike have been going back and forth at it about Baylor all year long. Like, if he is right, which I hope he is, because he's been right more times than me over the course of this last football season. Damn you, Tom Brady. If he's right, my bracket is busted, y'all. Don't listen to another pick I give.
Yeah, you
I
probably
got
pick
Baylor
all
doing
number.
damage.
You probably pick all number ones, but I actually have Kansas beating Gonzaga, and then
Okay,
Ohio beating Baylor.
okay. I have I think I got Kansas going out way before then. Like you got me really shaky about my bracket now. I have USC beating Kansas in the Sweet 16, um, and I have Baylor beating Ohio State. I
I mean,
believe.
I think I think that's why the March Madness is such a thing, because you watch these conferences, like we watch Big Ten a lot, so we know what that looks like. But these other trash conferences, and yeah, I said trash, when they play
Pull
against
no
each
punches,
other,
Mike.
when they play against each other, it's like, wait, which trash weighs heavier, one or the other? You know?
No, Brandon, who is a student at Oklahoma, he's not sold on Kansas, and I get the beef there. I get
Yeah,
the beef. We just got through banking on Sparty, so I get it. That's one of the great things about the tournament because you do have those conference alliances, but then some of the rivalries are just so bitter that you're like, I want you to lose. I was going for UCLA last night just because Sparty beat us
they should
two
have been in
Sundays
there
ago.
anyways. I was totally against Michigan throwing that last game, and just
They
because they
threw it.
needed that win to get in.
Right. They threw that game. You were right. And you said that they were going to do that before the game just to give you your props on wax. He did. He said, we're going to just throw that game. They're going to go up there and just try not to get hurt and then just come get on out. And that's exactly what happened. So without any further ado, Michigan Mike, and I haven't looked at your bracket because I was waiting to do this live.
Okay.
Your final four teams in this year's tournament. Let's hear it.
All right. I'm going to set it up by saying I'm very much like a Tasha. So I feel like 4 brackets out, but I'm going to give you the one that I filled out for the money bracket. So my money bracket, I have Kansas, Michigan,
Wow. Okay.
and then Ohio, and then Illinois. That's my fall.
So basically, it's the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Michigan is going to go a long way just going off of coaching. And I foresee them losing in the Final Four.
To Kansas.
Yeah, I foresee
Mike,
that.
Mike, now I'm about to tell on you. Now, 6-7 years ago, we're sitting in AT&T Stadium watching
Right.
Kansas, the number 1 seed Kansas play the number 4 seed Michigan Wolverines. We're getting drugged the whole time. I'm distraught. My head was in my shoulders. I wouldn't even look at the last 5 minutes of the game. Mike's sitting there like, man, we're going to come back. We're going to come back. We're getting trolled by a bunch of Kansas fans the whole time.
Yeah.
We're going to come
Ball
back.
don't lie. Yeah, I remember that.
Remember ball don't lie? But
Yeah.
Mike just being very calm. Oh, we're going to come back. Oh, we're going to come back. We came back.
And I think that's exactly why. That's exactly why I have that matchup. They're going to get a rematch on us, and then it's going to. Another reason why Michigan Illinois just seems too perfect as a rematch, and I don't want us to lose against them again. And so I have Ohio against Illinois, with Illinois winning, and then Illinois finishing it out with the championship.
Wow. And the thing is, you stand on brand because even before the brackets came out, you said that Illinois was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
My Final Four, I don't even want to give mine now. And Brandon, since you're in the comments, give us your Final Four as well. Now, my Final Four is totally different. I have the Zags getting through their bracket. Don't shake your head, Mike. I got the Zags getting through their bracket. I have Luka Garza. Oh, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. I think that's my Final Four.
Oh, you got
No. Yes, that is my Final Four. Okay. I've got no. Where? This CBS bracket is tripping me out here.
I have yours pulled up if you want.
Yeah, pull mine up.
You have the all number ones.
Oh my God, I do. I do. I went chalk like a mug. Now that see, I did that. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I did that because Michigan Mike, when you get into his paid brackets, them people be knowing what they doing. So I figured if Michigan, since I always pick Michigan to win, that's who I got winning the championship because I do that every year. I figured if I'm going to pick Michigan in a competitive bracket like yours, I might as well have some number 1 seats in there to offset so I can just hopefully just be in there long enough to get to the Final Four weekend.
Yeah,
Now, Brandon says he has Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, and Michigan with Illinois. Oh, I don't want to hear from y'all. Y'all banned from the show. But I ain't gonna lie. In our ESPN bracket, Mike, I got Illinois winning it all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Um, so with Michigan, do you think Isaiah Livers is gonna come back?
No,
And you don't think he's coming back?
hell no.
So who steps up in his place? He said, "Hell no." Who steps up in his place, Mike?
As far as possession, because we already know the backup was his name, Brandon Jr. or whatever.
Yeah, bro. You mean AKA travel?
Right. Yeah, man, that boy had
Brandon Johns
traveled.
Jr. is not the answer I want to hear right now.
He averages what 4 or 5 turnovers a game,
At least.
with 6 touches. No, I think if they were to make it to the Final Four, Hunter definitely has to evolve as a player and like pretty quick too.
Right.
I know some people were talking about him going and being going to the NBA after the season. That ain't no way. He still has a
Are
lot.
you talking about Livers or Hunter Dickinson?
Hunter Dickinson.
Okay, right. Dickinson. Okay, got you.
No, Livers is for sure going. That's why he's not going to come back. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and Michael Finley. Yeah, he's going to have a good.
His name is Chandi Brown. For the people who may think you're talking about Michael Finley's son.
Michael Finley Jr. is going to have a good tournament for sure.
Y'all Google Chandi Brown. He looks just like Michael Finley, like back when he was running real tough with the Mavs. That's him. Now T Sizzle says no one takes his place. The whole team has to step up, and Juwan has to do a hell of a coaching job and keep the team rolling. Here's what I think about that. And shouts out to Steph checking in. Here's what I think about that. Do not forget, America, that this is the number 1 defensive team in the league in opponent's field goal percentage. Even if we do drop off 7-8 points a game in this tournament, we still can turn your water off. Right. We can turn your water off now. Johns, he's a turnover machine. Brown is streaky from the 3. When he's hot, he's hot. When he's not, he's absolutely not.
He's a defensive player. He's a Rodman out there.
Yes, and he's going to fight for rebounds. He's an energy guy. Eli Brooks can step it up as far as handling the scoring load. Austin Davis, I think that he's going to play a much bigger role. Maybe slide him over to the 4, play him with Dickinson some because he usually only plays for him. So I really think she said Billy Ocean. Oh my God. So I still feel really good about Michigan. I know the national pundits are killing us.
They have to guard the 3-point line better too. In this tournament,
that's true.
There's a lot of good 3-pointing teams, and that's one of our weaknesses. We don't necessarily cover that area very well. So I think we have to trust Hunter and covering the down low in the paint and getting those rebounds, but we got to cover that 3-point line.
And I want y'all to now this name. There's a brother here that's going to put their family into the college football annals, and his name is Franz Wagner. I think that if Michigan makes it to another Final Four, see, his brother was the catalyst before. If Franz plays like the NBA talent that he is, when he's aggressive and attacking the basket, because he's already got the 3-point shot, when he attacks the basket like he did against Iowa, and was just a pick and roll nightmare, and then he can dish it off to Dickinson when they decide to roll out on him. Dickinson has got to get a 12-foot mid-range shot. You got to come back another year. But I really think Big Mo, that was his name. I couldn't remember Mo. It was Mo. Shouts out to Mo for getting us to the championship game. If I think Wagner, I think he can. This is his time to step up and become a national spotlight player, where I think he can literally average 25 points a game in this tournament.
You know, I'm having fun with this year's team, but it just makes me more excited for next year's team. I mean, you imagine Franz back, Hunter back with 3 All-Americans, like that's crazy.
And shouts out to our boy Hunter as a freshman, second team All-American. Shouts out to the big boy. Right. I got to get you two on together because y'all know y'all stuff. This is excellent banter. So Michigan Mike, for the people who just joined in, you have Illinois, Ohio State, Michigan, and Kansas.
Yep.
With us losing to Kansas, you just said that in front of the whole world.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been a mistake, clicking all the buttons, but I can't lie, it's on there.
As long as it's not to Kansas, because they will like party outside of the arena if they don't let them in for Kansas to get another crack at us in a tournament. Like, you kidding me? That would be absolutely dreadful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had to get Michigan Mike back on to give his picks after he gave us all some great insight into picking out our brackets. Good luck to each and every one of you on your brackets. Any part shots? Any part thoughts, Michigan Mike?
No. I'm honestly, I'm gonna be watching these upsets happen live right now. There's a lot of good ones coming up. Utah State is up at half by 3.
Oh my gosh,
called that live.
You really did.
Arkansas is pulling away from Colgate. Sorry, Colgate.
It was fun while it lasted.
And then we got a tie game right now, Florida and Virginia Tech, and it's in overtime with 3 minutes left.
All right, so we're going to get you all over to CBS so y'all can watch the end of the Florida-Virginia Tech game. I need Florida to get me on the board today, so go Gators. I'm also sending a shout-out to Knoxville, Tennessee. I want the Vols to do well since they're on the opposite side of the bracket of the Wolverines. Don't do that, Mike. Don't do that, Mike. Mama watching. Mama's a Vol. Don't do that.
When you in the booth, you gotta tell the truth,
When you're in the booth, you gotta tell. That's the mic drop walk off. So on behalf of the mic drop Michigan Mike, it's your boy PL. Y'all enjoy the games. We will see y'all on Monday.
Go Blue.
Peace.